Today on Country Squire Radio, we're talking what? Boo! Trick or treat. It's our Halloween special. Treacherous tobaccos. Not only that, but we've also got a great pipe question of the week, all about selecting a cigar for someone who is more of a pipe smoker. Interesting questions, interesting quickfire questions, interesting feedback. Half of my voice is missing, but it's going to be a good one. Right how on Country Squire Radio. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Beau. Good morning, man.
Man, good morning.
Good day.
Good noon to you, sir.
Good noon to you. Yes, sir. Man, yeah, it's a beautiful day. The temperature's kind of hovering there in the upper 70s, and so we're kind of flirting with a little hot, but also a nice chill in the evening. And it's it's been good around here.
It hadn't been too bad. I mean, the problem with the it being kind of warm in October is the weather constantly being in flux, as it is wont to do around this time of year.
Yeah.
Especially here. And so as listeners can tell from the sound of my voice, I'm missing part of my voice. About a couple days ago, man, I got like deathly ill right before having to travel for work. And so it was a miserable travel experience. And my voice was pretty much all but shot.
Just shot. Yeah.
2 days ago. And so I took a vow of silence for 48 hours.
and the world was thankful.
I'm telling you.
We needed a break.
My wife and kids definitely were. But I would not speak over a whisper for the last 48 hours in preparation for the show. So hopefully my voice won't go out.
You sound good. That's good. I'll try to make up for it.
Man, I gotta mention this at the top of the show. So like I said, I was traveling. I was actually in DC over this weekend.
Did you go to like a conference or something? Where were you?
It was actually a big weekend for Potasteer. We had two different shows that both had live shows going on. One was in DC. I want to say the other one was in Charlotte, but I was actually at the one in DC.
Okay.
And while I was there, I had remembered connecting with one of our listeners, John Fody, before online. Of course, he was part of the Toast to John David episode as well. And I was like, oh yeah, John's in DC. Next time I go, I want to make sure I reach out and connect with him. And so I shot him a direct message when I arrived, and we got together for breakfast. Really great time. John was very, very kind. Showed me one of the waffle. It's not a Waffle House. I think it's called Wicked Waffle.
Wait, is that their version of Waffle House, or is that like a boutique, like small batch artisan version of Waffle House?
I think it's more the artisanal waffle type situation. And with a name like Wicked Waffle, it sounds like a chain that maybe came out of Boston.
Yeah, no, that's right. New England.
Yeah. But one way or the other, it was a great time connecting with John.
Yeah, such a dear friend of the show.
John actually gave us a little bit of a gift.
Is that what this is?
That's here? What that is over there.
Okay, this is of course I walk in and this immediately piques my interest. This is a McClelland Christmas Cheer 2016.
Yeah, man.
And it is it is a nice mason jar that is one of the kind of short squat mason jars. It's full of some delicious flake. And dude, what a great gift. That is really, really kind. I have to smell it. It's a delicious ketchup,
and it kind of works because this is essentially like a ghost of Christmas past. Not to dive too much ahead of ourselves.
I saw that,
but this is really cool, man. So me and John, we're sitting there, we're talking, we're catching up, and over some waffles, and there's a guy right behind John that I think he's ordering his food, and he's kind of hanging out, and overhears us talking, and of course, we're talking about the podcast, we're talking about just kind of podcasting in general, and Country Squire Radio. And the gentleman comes over and goes, "Hey, excuse me, are y'all talking about Country Squire Radio?"
No.
And we look at him, we're like, "Yeah." We're like, he goes, "I love that show." And I said, "Oh." And then I make kind of a calculated decision because what I'm about to say is not validated in the way that I'm saying it. Because again, I have lost my voice. And as much as I sound sick right now, I sounded like I was on death's doorstep. Like Batman Begins gargle in my voice.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So I did not sound like myself, but I decided to say it anyway. I said, "Oh, I'm actually Beau from Country Squire Radio," knowing full well I didn't even sound like myself. But this guy, Wesley James Young, shout out to Wesley who came up.
That's incredible. So this was at Wicked Waffle.
This is at Wicked Waffle.
And you met someone just because they overheard you talking about Country Squire Radio with our friend John, and then he walked. That's insane.
How cool is that?
Oh, that's great,
dude. I felt like a rock star.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wesley was clearly. I mean, he had to head out to work, so we only got to chat for like a brief moment. But he did mention that
he's hilarious.
He's a fan of Stanwell pipes and would love for us to do a Stanwell episode.
That's a great idea.
I think that is very
Stanwell,
very
of course, a historic pipe brand, traditionally made in Denmark. I think most of them are made in the UK now, but man, awesome brand. Yeah, we need to look at Stanwell.
Yeah. But I do want to again, John, Wesley, thank y'all so much. Just really that DC trip special. And I'm sorry that I sounded like I was on death's doorstep.
It's like, I didn't know Beau sounded like Gollum. They must have had a really really impressive altering. What do you call it when you mix it up after you do the edits and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
All
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, that must be impressive. Whoever we're paying to do that, we're not paying enough apparently.
It's like they say, like you don't look like how you sound. Well, then I didn't even sound like how I sound.
No, that's right.
That's how it is. But man, look, we've got coming up here. I'm hoping that I'm recovering rapidly, because if not, it's going to seriously deter my week plans.
Yeah.
Because not only do we have trick or treats coming up here in the next couple of days, we got the Jackson Pipe Night happening this week.
That's right, man. Thursday night, November 1st, Jackson Pipe Night from 7 to 9 p.m. here at the Country Squire. And we're really excited. Yeah, this year we're going kind of above and beyond, because not only are we doing the normal slow smoke competition, live music, cold beer, gourmet popsicles from our friends at Deep South Pops, all those good things. But one of the biggest things is we're being joined this year by our friends from Laudici. Laudici, of course, is probably the biggest American distributor of artisanal tobaccos, incredibly handcrafted pipes, and just a whole boatload of awesome accessories. They represent brands like Peterson, Savinelli, Rossi. Cornell and Deal is their flagship tobacco brand. Also GL Peace and the Captain Earl's mixtures, and so many more. Caribe lighters, just a great company, and good pipe people. These are folks that are really invested in our community, and so they're going to come do a trunk show, and everything they've got is going to be 15% off. And then if you sign up to compete in the slow smoke competition, you'll actually get an additional 5% off.
Oh, that's awesome.
On top of that, so really cool. Have a bunch of pipes. Come hang out with my boy Bill Haggerty, who is a great friend and does a really good job for Laudici. But anyway, so yeah, Thursday night, November 1st, and man, we look forward to seeing all of you. Please come.
It's gonna be fun, man. Now, of course, we also have something else coming up here in November.
This is going on now,
dude. This is going on now,
yeah.
And you got to get them in. We're talking, of course, about the Thanksgiving Custom Cob Competition. Now, we've mentioned this for the last several episodes. We did this last year around Christmas time. We're doing it this year around Thanksgiving, and what we're doing is we're encouraging all of y'all to go out and get a Missouri Meerschaum pipe. You don't have to get too crazy with this either. You can kind of paint an intricate portrait on it. You can put some feathers on it. Basically, the goal is we want this to be kind of a Thanksgiving inspired design. Turn it into a cornucopia, whatever it may be. Maybe paint a little, make it like a little turkey in and of itself, like a roasted turkey type situation. But one way or the other, all the details on the custom competition are coming up, and of course those are available on our Facebook and Twitter. But we've got to get those entries in by November 12th.
November 12th.
So you need to finish them up and get them in quickly if you're going to make it in. I remember last year we had somebody who didn't get it in quite enough time. If I'm not mistaken, like there was one that maybe it just barely got in.
I think like the day of.
Right. There was kind of a question of whether or not we were going to count it. I think we did count it. Maybe we did. I can't quite remember. But one way or the other, you want to make sure that you do get them in, and so those have to be in by November 12th.
That's right.
And there's a lot of goodies involved too. If you happen to be the winner, not only do you get an amazing artisanal trophy, but from what I understand, you get a little bit of tobacco too. Is that right, John?
Man, the Country Squire is throwing in a unopened 8-ounce bag of Esoterica Penzance, and so the owner will get that. If you're not an English blend smoker, sell it, and you can make a card payment with it. But man, we were really thrilled about giving that away. One of our listeners also is going to chip in some Stonehaven. It's not an open, it's an opened pouch of Stonehaven. He's actually going to gift some of his personal Stonehaven to the winner as well. So really exciting there, and we're fired up. Of course, this is sponsored by our friends at Missouri Meerschaum. We talk about them every week.
Absolutely
love and believe in them, and so you have to use a Missouri Meerschaum pipe. Has to be smokable, but other than that, you can go all out with it. And of course, you want to send those to 1855 Lakeland Drive, Suite C as in Charlie 10, Jackson, Mississippi 39216.
Yes, let's get them in. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and gals too. As I recall, we had a female competitor last year.
We did.
Yeah. You guys and gals come up with. We can't wait to see
that. Female competitor painted the pipes for my wedding.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. It's beautiful.
Sure did. Yeah.
All right, man. So happy Halloween to you.
Yeah, likewise.
Tis the season of tricks and treats.
That's right.
And we are too treatful trickery. Yes.
I always knew you were a trick. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely turning treats over this week because we're talking about treacherous tobaccos. Now, in years past, we've done some different things for our Halloween special. We've looked at evil, sinister pipe smokers. We've looked at some more sinister pipes and the different styles that you might look at and be scared of if you happen to see them or smoke them. But this year, we're kind of carrying on a tradition from last year, which is we're looking at treacherous tobaccos.
Yeah.
And this was fun, man, because we kind of put that out there over the last couple of episodes. And when I say that, like, the feedback is still rolling in, the feedback is still rolling in.
Literally,
like,
as of right now, we may even read some in that we get through Facebook and Twitter, while we're doing the show.
It's just been a constant stream. And the great thing is that we kind of left that up to interpretation. Like, there was kind of some question, well, do you mean it smokes bad? Or, well, do you mean that, it's flavored in a certain way? And the question is, the answer to that was yes, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, man, we got some excellent treacherous tobaccos to talk about tonight.
Well, like you said, people took this in a bunch of different ways. Like, we always talk about this. A lot of the familiar names kind of have come up, tobaccos that just can really leave your palate wanting, or may have destroyed your palate, actually. But you could go about this in several different ways. Some tobaccos are just named in treacherous ways. Some tobaccos are really nasty. They're something that you just don't ever want to smoke again because of the taste. Some tobaccos are incredibly strong. And so they leave you kind of in this, stupor after you smoke them. And some names and tobaccos are just kind of funny, and they belong there too. So anyway, we've got several folks that have kind of pitched in on this. I love this. We'll start with kind of the obvious tokens, right? The ones that are they're named after Halloween or something spooky or whatever. Our friend Gregory Caesar, he comes in and says, Dan Tobacco's Devil's Holiday, obviously something you have to at least tip your hat to, just out of respect. Devil's Holiday is named after a 1930s Benny Carter swing song.
Is that right?
What this is named after? I'm not actually familiar with the music itself, but that's where that came from.
Interesting.
It's a Virginia Black Cavendish mixture. It has a berry topping, so it doesn't really sound like something that's particularly spooky or unapproachable.
Well, I wonder if now that I thought maybe Devil's Holiday was in direct reference to Halloween, but now knowing that, maybe it's more holiday in the way that the British use it, which is more of like a vacation, like the Devil's Vacation.
It could be. Yeah.
Interesting, but appropriate for the treacherous.
Yeah, I think so. And then obviously the other kind of obvious nod we pull out, the Cornell Deal Mixture Monster series, right, which is comes out every year. Great series. This is something that any aromatic smoker is going to enjoy. What I like, they do this here. They do it every year. It is a concoction of Black Cavendish, Burley, and Virginia tobaccos, and you're going to get kind of a caramel apple flavor. So it's certainly like a taste of the season kind of thing. We always have the state fair here in Mississippi during October, and that's you get that kind of thought, bobbing for apples kind of deal. That's I think what they're going for. But Mixture Monster, they always have this in 4 collectible tins, which is really smart. If you're a tobacco company, you want to make it multiple versions that you have to buy, and they're collectible. So,
nice.
Which and they are beautiful. The artwork is always really interesting and super spooky. So we'll give those a nod. Obviously.
Well, you also have to kind of look too at say Haunted Bookshop.
Yeah, no,
which
that's
of course, right. It is haunted after all.
It is. It is.
Mike Murphy wrote and said, Haunted Bookshop. He said, "Dear Lord, is this a treacherous tobacco? Meaning there's just too much burley for my gentle palate."
Man, we love Mike. It's actually kind of cool. Mike interviewed me yesterday on his podcast.
Oh, right on.
And so, which is Pipe and Tamper. Be sure to check them out. But that episode will come out later this year, probably closer on to Thanksgiving or Christmas. But anyway, stay tuned for that. We love Mike, big friend of his, big fan of his show, and thankful for him.
But just keep that Haunted Bookshelf or the
Haunted Bookshop away from it. Yeah, Haunted Bookshop, it's got a lot of burley in it. It's a coarse cut tobacco. It can burn a little differently because if you're not used to that type of cut, and then of course the addition of Perique, it's just really something. Michael Natalie or Natale, he chimes in after Mike and he says, and the 4 times he's tried to age Haunted Bookshop, he's been rewarded with mold. So it's one of those things. It's like it's not even going to let you age it, right? You have to smoke it immediately, and if you can't, make it through that, it's almost like the charm that disappears.
It rejects you.
No, it does. If you reject it, it rejects you, and then it's
we
gone.
summon the spirits of this haunted bookshop.
Michael's like, no, I'm gonna try to age this and take the edge off, and it's like, no, you can't do that. Yeah.
John Garrett also says, he's got to be the cult blood red moon.
Yeah, which I thought was nice. Yeah,
there's cherry treachery in every tin.
That's right. That's right. That cherry treachery. Particularly if you're not aromatic smoker, lots of aromatic flavors in those cult series tobaccos, and lots of cherry.
Man, I won't say any cherry should be considered evil tobacco.
Yeah, I think when I think of cherry tobaccos, I think more of Valentine's Day and less of Halloween. But that's just me.
All right.
Other token ones that obviously are just spooky enough in their name alone to kind of evoke Halloween. We've got the Old One series from Cornell and Deal. Lots of Cornell and Deal mentions here today. The Old One series, if you're not familiar with it, it's a series based on, or inspired by rather, H.P. Lovecraft, the kind of early 20th century pulp fiction writer. Lots of kind of the genesis of sci-fi, spooky, horror. You've got a lot of that going on. But they've got 5 different tobaccos there that are really good. Some tobaccos for people just taste disgusting, though. They're just kind of
seem to be the way that a lot of people took it.
They're just kind of foul. Yeah. Our friend John Atkins and Jeff Vanek, they both chimed in and said 1792 Flake from Sam Gaywith was just not on the top of his of their list. Do you have Jeff's comment in front of you, Beau? I'm trying to
let's see
think here.
I don't know that I do.
Yeah, I've got it here. It says worst taste ever. Ghosted my pipe and my beard. Okay. He says, I threw out the corncob pipe that I've smoked it in, and was tempted to shave my beard to get rid of the lingering smell, which is just foul. It's the only tobacco I've ever given. I've never given away. Instead of gift. He says the only tobacco he's ever thrown away instead of gifting it to a pipe club member.
Wow.
And he's shuddering even as he thinks of it. So I've actually never tried 1792. It's a Virginia Kentucky blend. It's one of their better selling flakes at Gaywith or Sam Gaywith. If you've listened to the show long enough, we've talked about Sam Gaywith a lot over the years. And their sister company, Gaywith and Hogarth. You'll probably know I'm not a big person, even that they make really high quality tobaccos. Obviously, people love them. They're just not for me, So I haven't smoked a lot of their tobaccos.
Well, y'all aren't alone either, because Barry Timmons also said Samuel Gaywith Black XX. He said, it's the most horrific smoke I ever had. I thought I'd ruined my pipe after one bowl of the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we always have folks chime in on Black XX. It is a if you've never tried it and you just I don't know, our good friends at Missouri Meerschaum, they make the pipe to smoke Black XX in.
Wow.
If you've never tried it.
And
that is any Missouri Meerschaum pipe. Probably you want a larger bowl, but this is a tobacco that again, you read reviews on it. I encourage you to go to tobaccoreviews.com, look at Black XX. You'll get tasting notes of, vinegary urine, burnt hair, lots of just really foul stomach acid. That I've seen that before. Lots of just really terrible things. Jordan Scoville, he says, Sam Gaywith Finest Kindle Twist number 4. The stuff packs a mean level of nicotine, and then of course several folks piling on with the Black XX from Sam Gaywith. The most horrific smoke I ever had. I thought it ruined my pipe after one bowl of the stuff. Commodore Perry, he says, Black XX, this will put hair on your chest, legs, face, and back. you'll pretty much look like a Country Squire native after you smoke it.
Hey, there you go.
That's really disgusting. But yeah. So lots of folks chiming in there.
We also got, let's see, Dwayne Dunn says, anything from Borkrum Riff.
Borkrum Riff, yeah. I like this. We've got a lot of folks that are kind of piling on the hamster cage tobacco, it's they're just not particularly suited for their palates, I guess.
Right. But so the way that he did this, I love this because this kind of speaks to the more like direct treachery, as in like backstabbing nature of the word.
Yeah.
He says anything from Borkrum Riff. Says smells fantastic. Like I'm gonna eat this whole pouch. Right up until the point that it incinerates on your tongue. Worst tongue bite
ever. Other hamster cage tobaccos that are taking some heat as far as their treachery. Our friend Gene Bowker, he goes on to say Captain Black Grape, which it just is not particularly for me. Rondi Reeves, Paladin Black Cherry. He says, quote, I have no doubt that Satan's minions blend that stuff in the deepest pits of Hades. It's horrific.
Wow. Wow. The hate.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just, so you've got this aspect where a lot of folks just don't find tobaccos that they particularly appreciate the flavor of.
No, that's like the Satan's hamster cage.
No, yeah,
that should be a whole new level.
That's right. Daniel Gillum, he says Dan Tobacco Ocean Liner. It's interesting. We've got a lot of Dan Tobacco stuff, a lot of Cornell and Deal stuff, and a lot of Sam Gaywith stuff popping up today. But he says Black and Bright. More like burning coals stoked into the engine driving the ocean liner.
Ooh.
Wow, 12 years ago, and I can still taste it in my mind.
Wow. It haunted. It lingered.
It did. It lingered. Other blends that I'll kind of throw in on the, these are nasty tasting tobaccos. Gaywith and Hogarth Lakeland Dark. That was some of that was gifted to me. I guess it was probably a couple of years ago. By a friend, and if I want to put an entire bottle of Bath and Body Works scented lotion in my mouth, then I'll just go do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
I can buy that here locally, and it'll be just as disgusting as smoking Lakeland Dark. Vow Black Pepper. I'll leave it at that. It's just black pepper tobacco. So
I like black pepper. I like pipe tobacco.
I thought I did too. Yeah.
Bad combination.
I thought I did too.
Two great tastes that taste terrible together.
Again, if I want to put black pepper in my pipe tobacco, if anyone likes that tobacco, I'd be interested to hear from you. It's kind of a small, Vow and Tobaccos. Of course, longtime listeners will know Tobacco number 14 is one of my favorites. I love that blend and keep plenty on hand. But that's the only one I've really connected with from Vow, and I'd be interested to know if anyone smoked black pepper from them.
Interesting. All right. So we also have, let's see, Nick Blackwell says Royal Yacht.
Yep.
Says, sounds like you're going on a cruise. Sounds like smooth sailing. If you don't smoke it slow enough, though, you might not like the flavor straight from the tin. And the nicotine will knock you out. Again, It's a little bit of that treachery.
It is, right? The backstabbing flavor of it. Royal Yacht is interesting to me because, it's advertised as a Virginia blend, right? We hear this as, it's a blend of these soft, matured Virginias and all this stuff. And you smoke it and it's, it's deceiving. It's backstabbing, right? You're getting these kind of nice flavors and it does taste like a matured Virginia. You've got some kind of rich natural sugars there. And then, about, 15, 20 minutes into the smoke, you try to stand up and you can't. It's just really strong. This stuff is marketed as
possessed.
It's just interesting to me. Like they market this as Virginias, but Virginias don't do that to you. Like Virginias just don't do what Royal Yacht does to you. I'm positive there's some Dark Fire Kentucky in there, but that that'll spook the dickens out of you. Yeah.
Interesting. Mark Payne said Old Joe Krantz has quite a reputation.
Yep.
He says, though I love this stuff, other notorious and divisive blends, Black Irish X, Old Dark Fired, Warhorse Green, Jackknife Plug. It says my horror blend would be half and half, the ultimate pipe haunter.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That would be very haunting. We talked about on an episode, I think around the holidays last year. It might have been a tobacco talk or a review we did about a year ago around Christmas time, but the Old Joe Krantz is one of those that particularly the room note, it'll run all the demons out of the room because it's not particularly good smelling. Other folks that go along with that. We talked about all the Black XX reviews, just foul stuff. This is another one, Gaywith and Hogarth Black Irish Triple X. We had our friend Mitchell Cretell. He popped this in. That is just really bad. I was not particularly familiar with this tobacco. I've never smoked it. I don't. We don't carry it in the shop. So I wanted to look into it a little bit. I looked into Black Irish Triple X from Gaywith and Hogarth, which is probably really similar to Black XX. He says a reader on tobacco reviews. So this is not Mitchell, but a reader. He says, "So I tried the rope from Gaywith and Hogarth tonight. It is vomitous rubbish. I have never been so thoroughly repulsed by tobacco in my life.
Wow.
Its rank flavor still lingers on my hands. Its only use could be as a cruel initiation or some kind of sick joke. All true lovers of tobacco must avoid this soul-shattering statement of hatred for mankind."
Wow. Wow.
I have been used. Let's see, I have been used and made the plaything of some malevolent force that still laughs at my well-meaning curiosity as I cry myself to sleep.
Oh, snap.
So, I mean, it's stuff is really strong. It sounds just downright awful.
No, the hate is real. Relio Delio said, I love them, but Mac Baron's tobaccos might be considered treacherous. I'd put some VAs in there. Have to smoke them slow to get the flavor. If you don't pay attention, they can burn.
No, they can. And Mac Baron, I love what Mac Baron does to their Virginias. I think they make some of the best flakes out there, and just love what they do at their factory. But a hallmark of Mac Baron tobaccos on average is that you have to sip them. You have to smoke them slow. They're real bright leaf heavy, lots and lots of natural sugar. And, I don't know, there may be some type of agent there as well. I don't know if it'd be probably not vinegar, some type of agent preservative that they're putting in there that just reacts with your tongue. And if you don't sip a Mac Baron tobacco, it really will light you up, and your tongue will not thank you for it. Yeah.
All right, let's see. And then finally on mine, I got Portland Paul. He says all the Monster series, specifically the non-aromatic from is it Tasung? Suge. Thank you. There's no way I was going to pronounce that.
No,
right.
you weren't. No, it's okay.
It says all the non-aromatic Monster series from Suge is so intense and almost cautiously strong. It feels like they're trying to murder you.
Yeah.
It says I love English, Oriental, Balkan blends. Two songs are Suge. It's got a T in there, man.
It does. It does. You're right.
The silent T, the enemy of dyslexics everywhere. Suge aromatics, on the other hand, are usually delicious.
Yeah. Suge does a good job with those, but that I have heard that from other smokers from of their non-aromatics. So let's see, what else do we have here? Patrick Barrett, other strong tobaccos. Patrick, of course, dear friend of both the show and the shop, lives on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. About 6 months ago, I was pretty sure that I was a big Perique smoker, but then I ordered some Cornell and Deal exclusive. It has 50% Perique in it. I was forced to face the fact that my love of musty, spicy stuff comes in at much lower than that, like 25% or so. Too much of good thing can certainly be found. And so, I think that's certainly true. Other stuff that comes out, Bayou Night from Cornell and Deal. One person on Tobacco Reviews wrote, "This reminds me of those extra, 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 extra hot barbecue sauces that leave you barely able to taste the sauce and instead leave you begging for a glass of milk to relieve the pain of the chili." And so,
Wow.
it's rather amazing that this blend is even smokable, seeing as it has so much Perique. I have smoked Bayou Night one time. Bayou Morning gets a lot because it's a little more popular. We hear about Bayou Morning and the strength of it. Bayou Night, not as popular, and so we don't hear about it as much. But I encourage you, if you're looking for something for a big nicotine hit, maybe you're a recovering cigarette smoker that just wants some strength. This stuff could choke a donkey. I mean, it's filthy. It really is. It really is way too strong. Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's amazing. We got so many different thoughts, and if you haven't checked out on Facebook yet or on Twitter, I mean, they keep on rolling in, and there's so many great, like great bad reviews, if you will. Like it's not just a bad review; it's so artistically done. Like you got to go and check them out. It's wonderful just to see all of those, and feel free to pile on. It's a good time for tricks and treats. And if you like treats, treat yourself to a great quality pipe from our good friends at
Missouri Meerschaum. That's right. That's right.
Specifically, we're talking this week. I mean, it's apropos, really. We're talking the Outlaw series.
Outlaw series, of course, is a horse thieves and bandit series, sponsored and or inspired. And for sale at Missouri Meerschaum. You can go to corncobpipe.com, and they're easily findable there. The Jesse James corncob pipe. They have another one after Cole Younger and the Bell Star pipe. I actually was not familiar with Cole Younger.
That's odd to me.
And Bell Star until I saw this series, and so it was cool. I got to research some of them and their stories, and that was interesting. All of these pipes are tend to be might as well be nose warmers. They're pretty short pipes, very high quality black stem. You've got the hardwood insert in the bottom, and the stovepipe kind of look on the front of the bowl there. That stovepipe Missouri Meerschaum that is indicative. You've got that in the Patriot and a few other kinds of spindle look that's there.
Love that cup.
And the black the varnish that's on the bowl itself is just really attractive. So Outlaw series of corncob pipes from Missouri Meerschaum offers pipe enthusiasts an Old West experience with the cool smoking Jesse James, Bell Star, and Cole Younger pipes. So again, that's available at corncobpipe.com. You can get it straight from the source. Those retail at $16.99 and are all available right now.
And if you're incorporating a Missouri Meerschaum pipe into your Halloween costume this year, be sure to tweet those into us. We love retweeting it out. It's a great way to let the good folks at Missouri Meerschaum know you appreciate them for sponsoring this show. All right, man, we got a pipe question this week coming into us from Chris, and I love this. Chris actually put a pronunciation guide with his last name, and I'm pretty sure I'm still going to butcher it.
You probably will.
Dumoulin.
Yeah.
See, you can't. There's no crack in the code with me. I could try, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm not even going to go there. Yeah.
All right. So here's what
you're hopeless.
Here's what
Chris, of course, president of the Lone Star Pipe Club. They just put on the Texas Pipe Show. Dear friend of the show and of the Country Squire.
All right, man. Here we go. He says, "I've been smoking a pipe since the spring of 2000. I picked up the pipe because cigars were just too expensive for my college budget, and ended up falling in love with the pipe in a way that cigars never matched. In the last 18 plus years, I've almost entirely been a pipe smoker and have only smoked a handful of cigars. Recently, however, I was offered a cigar that a friend had been aging in his humidor for 5+ years.
Yeah.
And as I didn't have my pipe with me, I gratefully accepted it. I was surprised, delighted, and fascinated that the relatively cheap cigar had turned into a beautiful flavored stick with the addition of time. It got me thinking that now that I'm not a poor college student, maybe it's time to explore cigars again, especially since I'll always be primarily a pipe guy, which means that I won't actually smoke cigars very often.
Yeah.
This will make it easy for me to sit on some sticks and age them properly. That said, it seems that I'm out of my depth. I'm smoking 100 different pipe tobaccos and understand the flavor profiles of nearly every pipe leaf, but they're of nearly every pipe leaf out there. But when it comes to cigars, I find myself at a loss. So the question is, as an avid Virginia Perique lover and someone who never smokes aromatics, what should I look for in a cigar? What leaves, wrappers are going to be the most similar to the experience that I'm used to, and what will age well? Thanks, guys. And again, that's from Chris D out in Texas.
Man, great question. We've got a lot of pipe smokers get started. They were introduced to cigars, but then they were horrified at how expensive they were. Cigars nowadays, of course, probably the average age of average price of a premium long filler cigar. I don't know, $8, $9, $10. I mean, they're expensive, and that's per smoke, right? That's one cigar, and $10 down the drain. They're delicious. So many people love them, but yeah, they are expensive. So yeah, a couple of options for you. The Avo XO is one of my personal favorite cigars. This is it's a Connecticut seed cigar. Connecticut seeds actually do come from the state of Connecticut. A lot of folks are like, they don't grow tobacco up there. Well, yes, they do.
Oh, snap!
And don't tell that to the growers of this stuff, because they sure do. Delicious, very light flavored tobaccos, but they've taken a Connecticut seed and they've sun grown it, so they've exposed it in Ecuador, actually, to to more sun, which gives it a kind of a zesty, little bit of a peppery flavor, but not overwhelming by any means. It's not particularly spicy, and just super smooth. It reminds me a lot of my favorite bright Virginia leaves. I really like the Avo XO. So I would highly point you to that. Any cigar that there are so many Ecuadorian Sumatra cigars on the market right now. And that's another wrapper leaf that I would point you to. Ecuadorian Sumatra leaves actually come from the island of Sumatra. That's in Indonesia. And it's been common for them recently to be grown in Ecuador, so it does something special to the the leaf growing in that kind of environment. The climate there is incredibly perfect for cigar leaf cultivation and all that kind of stuff, and the elevation as well. Lots of mountains in that part of the world, and so Ecuadorian Sumatra wrappers, they're medium to full, but very much closer to the medium side of the spectrum there, and tend to have a spicy but not harsh flavor. And so folks that like a complex blend that's not overwhelming, I really push Ecuadorian Sumatra cigars. They're just really popular right now. The one of my favorites is the Leaf by Oscar. This is a cigar that's actually, instead of wrapped in cellophane, it's actually wrapped in a tobacco leaf.
That's so cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so the tobacco leaf, it is going to accomplish the same goal as a cellophane, just protecting the cigar itself. Probably allows it to breathe a little better, I would think, too. But the Oscar, it comes in a bunch of, or the Leaf by Oscar comes in a bunch of different wrappers. The Sumatra is by far the best seller at our shop, and is just a delicious delicious cigar. Medium to full, again, a little more closer to the medium side, but a great smoke, and packed with flavor. If you're a Virginia smoker or a Virginia Perique smoker, you'll really enjoy it.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Chris, great question. And hey, if you got a pipe question or a cigar question as it relates to pipe questions, be sure to send those in to us, show@countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire question. Ow! All right, man. We got some great quick fire questions in. Going through Morton, the listener formerly known as Sundevi.
Poor Mortine.
No, this is the great Morton. Morton.
Poor Mortine.
I said formerly known as.
No, you did. You did.
Although I guess I put it under Sundevi.
You did the whole thing. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could call him MS, but I feel like that probably wouldn't be good.
It's probably not good.
No. All right. So here's the thing. Here's what he's got. We're going through his list. It's really good. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Scotland or Ireland?
Oh,
I know.
What?
I know.
Dang,
that's
man.
Tough. It's tough.
God, really?
Have you ever been to either?
I've been to Scotland. I'm gonna say Scotland. I love Scotland. I've never been to Ireland. I'm not as familiar with it. I probably, I have lineage from both. I'm probably more Irish than I am Scottish, but I have an affection and an affinity for Scotland. Just its history is fascinating to me. Ireland's history is fascinating too. I don't know, but I'm just, my familiarity is gonna put me in the Scotland camp.
Yeah,
I can't believe he would ask that. That's awful.
That's a tough question.
It's like choosing, I don't know, between two of your favorite champagnes or something. I mean, you can't do that.
Whichever's cheapest. So for me, man, yes, I'm more Scottish than Irish. I am both as well, but more Scottish than Irish. I've never been to either, but I've been making plans to go to Scotland.
You'll fix that one day.
Well, that's the thing. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. Since I've prioritized going to Scotland, over going to Ireland, I kind of feel like I have to choose that one. So I'm gonna go with
I
Scotland.
can't. But we just really made a bunch of Irish people extremely angry.
We love the Irish.
We'll probably have a bunch of like sheep
We'll buy
mailed to us.
We'll buy you whiskey when you come on over, and then we'll all fight about it. It'll be great.
No, that's right.
That's what the Irish like, right? That's they appreciate
whiskey
it.
and fighting.
That's what they want.
And Catholicism.
And Catholicism.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hail Mary, full of yeah. So
you just stop right there.
Hey, my family is like largely.
No, I know. Yeah,
I can make that joke.
That's good. Okay. All right.
Hans Christian Andersen or the Brothers Grimm?
I'm gonna go with Hans Christian Andersen
Really? Okay.
because there is a Stanwell pipe series based on him.
Ooh.
And it's every one of those pipes is a convertible churchwarden / regular size pipe. And so with Hans Christian Andersen pipe, you get both. You buy one pipe and it's convertible. It's kind of cool.
Was he a pipe smoker?
That I do not know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He may have just been inspired by
it. May have to look into
that.
Been. I have to look into that.
Well, had he been, that might have put him over the edge for me. But no, I'm gonna go with the Brothers Grimm. The Grimm's fairy tales, man. Like that's such a classic part of Americana, despite the fact that obviously they're not necessarily all American in origin. Like I love the Grimm's fairy tales. So you got to go there, Brothers Grimm.
Okay.
All right, hardback or paperback?
Paperback. I used to be a hardback guy because they just look so good on the shelf,
they
right?
Really do.
They really look good on the shelf. It's like, look how impressive I am. But the reader in me appreciates a paperback more because it's more malleable. I can abuse it more and fold the covers back and bend it if I need to. It tends to be a little smaller, and so if you're reading while in bed or something, or it's just a little more easy to access.
That's good.
Yeah.
For me, if it's a book hardback, and specifically I always take the cover off, like the I hate those things. And if it's like a graphic novel, like a comic book or something like that, always paperback. I cannot stand hardback.
Do they even make? Yeah, I didn't. I guess they make graphic novels in hardback. I just always think of them as a paper.
A lot of people actually prefer the hardback, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then finally, potato chips or chocolate?
Chocolate. I love chocolate.
Yeah.
I love chocolate.
Yeah.
I love chocolate.
There are specific chocolates I don't like and specific chips I like. So I guess I got to go chocolate from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Gosh, I love potato chips, but I love chocolate.
Dude, it's s'more season too. You get a
that's right.
Bar of chocolate thrown on. Look, there is nothing better this time of year than a fire pit, some s'mores, a glass of whiskey, and your favorite pipe tobacco. Dude, that is like whenever.
I think after hearing all of what you just said, I need to smoke a cigarette.
I'm serious.
That was an overload of like just
amazingness.
Yeah, beauty. Yeah.
Like this is
that's good.
This is that time of year. So like the kids are always like pressuring us, like, oh, can we do a fire pit tonight? Because they know that means s'mores.
Yeah.
And so when the temperature is like perfect for it, we absolutely do. But we make sure that they have everything done so that as soon as they eat their s'mores, they can go straight to bed. And me and my wife can like chill outside and I bust my pipe out and get some whiskey. Oh yeah. It's so good, man.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Great quick fire questions in again from Mortensen Debbie. Formerly known as and still known as.
That's right.
So if you've got some quick fire questions, we'd love to hear those. Send those in, show@countrysquireradio.com. Listener feedback this week. Man, we got some great listener feedback. Doug Owen, love Doug, wrote us kind of a bit of an essay. And normally I like to kick us off by reading some of these, but I also love to throw it to you and given my voice is kind of out. I'm gonna throw this one.
I'll take the bullet on this one, man. Of course, we love hearing from Doug. Your Kirsten presentation was great and hit close to home. When we ran our tinderbox in Portland back in the 1970s and 80s, we were constantly inundated with requests for Kirsten pipes, mainly from folks who had heard about the pipe from fellow pipe smokers. Being a rather snobbish Breyer and Meerschaum smokers, we would usually dismiss such inquiries as just another trendy fad. But guess what? Upon further research, it turned out that the darn pipe design was a bit of genius by this professor who did a lot of work for Boeing. The Kirsten family had their own retail outlet in Seattle, which is still there, I believe, owned now and operated by Professor Kirsten's daughter or granddaughter. I don't know which. JD's comment on the used Kirstens is right on. One of the big problems with buying a used Kirsten is that the parts were made in Seattle, I believe, in the old days, but now the parts are outsourced, so in particular, those O-rings, which probably have to be replaced in an estate Kirsten, will not be the same size as the O-rings in a new Kirsten. Interesting. I was not aware of that. Also, I'm not sure of this, but the threading for the bowl on the new pipes may not be the same size either. Plus, if the pipe has been sitting around gathering dust for 10 or 20 years, the threads may have corroded. But a new one, if you want the Kirsten experience, you should buy. The shop in Seattle is a great source and has a nice selection of tobaccos as well. I don't know about humidifying with shower. I don't know about humidifying with shower water, Beau. Talking about our reference last week to rehumidifying your tobacco in your shower
I should have
while drinking wine. Was that it?
See, Doug, you've always been I don't edit.
But he says, but you might end up with unwelcome flavoring agents steaming through the air. Again, the Bath and Body Works shampoo.
Yeah,
we all know you use those products as well.
Listen, bath salts and bath bombs are amazing.
Just saying,
not just puffing. For ladies, fellas.
You're doing this to yourself. I mean, you sit here. Here we are, Country Squire Radio. We're talking about all these delicious tobaccos and awesome pipes and how to rehumidify some of your favorite tobaccos, and you're going to bring bath bombs into.
Listen, is that the rest of Doug's?
That's it. That's it.
Listen, I just found a soap bar that is coffee and pipe tobacco. No, I did. It was at the.
That's good
at Whole Foods.
So someone actually came in the shop. This was couple years ago and was like, "Hey, I saw this in the store and thought of you." It was a bar, a stick of deodorant that was tobacco smell, and I was like, I received it and I was thankful for it, and it's at the shop, and that's great. It's just I saw this and thought of you.
Tobacco has a pleasant aroma,
tobacco deodorant.
For the most part, tobacco is so there.
Oh, it does. We love the smell of tobacco,
and on top
obviously.
of that, for those of us who are with significant others that may not appreciate the more abrasive smells that come with being a pipe smoker.
Yeah.
Having methods of cleaning yourself that also have kind of that flavored tobacco scent to it is actually a nice way to subtly work in positive vibes with the smell. The psychology being.
No, that makes sense.
That's
yeah.
right.
That
I'm secretly a genius. If someone is, and I've just tapped into it.
It's so out of control.
We also have Dro225 who says, I just got into pipes and read instructions on watched how-to videos. I saw some down-to-earth tips and some real pretentious comments too. What I like about your advice is that you give details on your ideal model as well as realistic model too, and gave us the freedom to navigate in between. I'm still practicing lighting my pipe and have no shame about relighting with a Bic and continuing my smoke. Again, that's from Dro225 over on YouTube.
Thank you for that. That's I think you nailed what we want to be. We have our preferences. There are things I like to do that I think are more sophisticated, but my goal as a tobacconist on the other side of the counter is for you to smoke your pipe. and if smoking your pipe means that you're going to use a Bic lighter and a rusty nail for your tamper, then that's what I want you to do. So that's great.
In general, anytime we're talking about kind of best practices or something of that nature, I never really thought about it, and maybe you have, because more often than not, in fact, all the time, that's your knowledge that's coming forward. But you do have such a great way of presenting. Here's the ideal. Here's what they tell you that you're supposed to do, or here's what I do as a professional. However, rusty nail, you still
golf tee.
Exactly. You're still anything in a pinch, and let's talk about what those look like. You've always been good about that, man. I love how he was able to catch that and put that into words, because I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Real quick from Twitter. Of course, we had a lot of fun last week with our friend Rachel Fiss, who is the wife of Byron Fiss.
Oh yes.
And of course they anniversary, he chooses to come to Mississippi on a work trip so he could visit the Squire.
Right.
And Byron actually left us a gift at the shop with a beautiful note. I'll try to bring that next week so we can read that. Rachel is tweeting into us right now, and she says, "Hey guys, thank y'all for the husband anniversary shout out last week. He loved it. As if that wasn't enough, we're on our anniversary trip to Boston and Portland with friends, and he couldn't miss today's show."
Oh man, what's up?
I think he's a fan. And of course, she tweets in a picture of him drinking a flight of beer and watching us when he's next to what I'm assuming is his beautiful wife. So anyway, that's hilarious.
I got to make mention of this too. if y'all just caught it on YouTube, go back and listen to the actual podcast, because Mike, who produces our show, does the post-production and editing, put in some slow jams with that.
Yeah,
I think you'll really enjoy. So you probably already heard it, but if you haven't,
some nice jams.
Go back and catch that one on the podcast, because it's even better in post-production. But congratulations to you both, and yes, cheers, and man, go hug your wife.
That's
man.
right.
Go show her some love.
Put the earbuds down and drink your beer and hang out with your wife on your vacation. Yeah,
absolutely.
Others from the really Odelio, new tobacco blend from the Country Squire, Choke a Donkey. Which is maybe there's a future in that.
See, I want to see a meme of John David Cole choking a donkey now.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah. Russ Hicks, he says, quote, "Boss, are you watching YouTube again at work?" Me, Russ. Yep, it's the new time for the Country Squire Radio live show. Boss, you know this is a tobacco-free zone. Me. Yes, sir. That's why the hosts aren't smoking anymore. Well, that's going to end soon.
I feel the shade through that one.
That's going to end soon. So, we love your boss. We're thankful for you having a job. That's why you get to watch it on YouTube and not bring it to work, right? So you can kind of have your cake and eat it too.
I know we should actually advertise to companies that have no smoke-free zones. So the goal is well, look, they can't have their traditional smoke.
That's right.
So let them get their
cake.
They can tune in. And vicariously enjoy.
I don't think that would work. Our dear friend Brian Levine, this was yesterday. Brian's actually having a small operation today. He's undergoing his first colonoscopy.
Oh,
and asked for our thoughts and prayers. And so and then we traded some jokes about that, and it was funny and inappropriate. But Brian yesterday said his spooky tobacco is Bob's Chocolate Flake, an English aromatic, Latakia, and a heavy casing. Yuck. The one time I tried to smoke it, I couldn't get it lit, and then dumped it out in an ashtray where it smoldered for almost an hour. And I have tried Bob's Chocolate Flake, and it is it's disgusting.
You know how surgeons will typically play music while they're operating?
Yeah.
Well, so I contacted Brian's doctor, and I bribed him $40. I was like, look, time this right and just crank Country Squire Radio.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I figured if he's going to be in pain anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah.
Well, good stuff, man. Well, great feedback. We always love getting these in. A great way to actually send some feedback is to head over to iTunes and write us a review. If you've never done so before, it's really quick and easy to do. Doesn't cost you a dime, and it's a great way to help people know how great the show is. If you feel the show is great, if you don't, why are you listening to it? Also,
don't leave a review.
Don't leave a review. Also, another great way to help the show, if you are willing to spend a few dimes, is head over to the Patreon account at patreon.com/Country Squire Radio, where you can go so far as to become a club member at the Squire and Pilgrim level, or if you just want to donate $1 per episode, that goes a long way to ensuring the longevity of this show. Yes, there's been some changes in when it comes out in terms of the live show, but you do get the live show.
That's right. That's right.
We make sure to present you with that content every single week without fail, even on holidays. And as you are enjoying this for the podcast listeners on Halloween, may we offer a very sincere trick or treat and
happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween. Exactly.
Yeah.
Be sure to wish us happy Halloween as well. Head over to Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at the real Beau York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
And of course, the show's handle is at Squire Radio. You can also find us on Facebook, both Twitter and Facebook. At the very top of both accounts have the details for the Thanksgiving custom cob competition. So if you've not done so already, head over there, review the rules and regulations, all that kind of good stuff, and get those pipes in quick. Remember, we do have to get those in by November the 12th here at the Country Squire. So can't wait to see what you guys have to offer up for that. I think that's going to do it for us,
That's
man.
it, man. Shoot, this week is pipe night. If you're in the area, if you're a couple states away, man, take the trip. Come on over. We'd love to have you smoke those spooky tobaccos, and everyone have a safe and fun week with yourself and your kids.
I'm hoping that I'm gonna be better by then. We're supposed to get some rough weather on Halloween, which is unfortunate because I love trick or treating and all the kids coming by and passing out the candy and everything. But on top of that too, if I'm not up to full power, so to speak, I can't torture my poor throat while it's trying to heal.
You can.
Well, I can. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably.
It only comes once a year, Beau.
Yeah, but my voice is literally, it's the moneymaker.
That's
I gotta be careful about that. But one way or the other, man, I'm hoping I'll be healed up. One way or the other, I will be there. I can guarantee that.
That's great.
But if the voice goes out, or if the voice doesn't come fully back, then I may not be. Wait, man, let's go have a day.
See See you, brother.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we had fun. Gosh, I love that everyone gets to join us this time of day, and know it's an adjustment for some people and all that, but we are really glad to always do this at the beginning of the week.
Drinking beer in the middle of the day.
No, I like it, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good. Yeah, Russ is playing hooky at work, and it's good.
Yeah, we're getting y'all into all kinds of trouble. All right, see y'all.
Bye.